So, sorry about that. So, recently I went and saw Booksmart in theaters. Primarily saw it because when I saw the trailer, I thought, wow, that gives me major Superbad vibes. And Superbad is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's legendary status, frankly. And I thought, hey, even if this looks like it's not a ripoff, but a bit of a clone of Superbad just with the female lead, heck, I'll see this if I get a laugh. And it had a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe. And that's already a great start, especially for comedies nowadays. Like the last comedy I think I saw in theaters was Holmes and Watson with Will Ferrell and John C. Riley, and that was unfortunately very disappointing and one of the worst cinema experiences I've had. So this movie, is it worth seeing? Yes. Yes, it is. I laughed quite a few times, which is all I can ask for with a comedy movie. But does it does it take a lot of inspiration from Superbad? Unfortunately, yes. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. But in this situation, I would have liked to see a lot more from it. Just because, well, let me give you a synopsis of the movie without using any names, and you can tell me if it sounds like Superbad. Two characters, one picks either up from school or from home before school, and they're seniors in high school, and this is one of the last few days of the year. And they go, and about 20 minutes are dedicated towards introducing kind of where these characters' social status is at their high school and some of the other characters, and it establishes that these two main characters are, they're known by people, but they're definitely not well liked. They aren't super well liked. And rumors of a party floats about, and one of them really wants to go, and the other sort of wants to go because they have love interests that'll be at that party. But the twist is they've never really been partiers throughout high school, and this is kind of their big chance to finally go to a party. So the next portion of the movie follows them going from party to party, trying to get to the main one, and all kinds of crazy antics and hijinks occur, and there's some wild, wacky characters. And finally, when they make it to the party that they originally desired to go to, things don't go so smoothly with the love interest as they thought it had been. But thankfully, the next day, things are sorted out, and maybe the love interest is a little bit better. But it's a bittersweet ending because the two protagonists have to part soon for adulthood and college and the rest of their lives. These are, I mean, Superbad definitely did it first, and it's okay. It's not a super original story to begin with, but it feels a lot more genuine in Superbad. It feels like that the writers Seth Rogen and Evan, his name's escaping me, really, really experienced that, and it feels like Booksmart really experienced the Superbad movie rather than experiencing it in real life, and they just kind of wrote something from there. And I guess another thing that I enjoy about Superbad more is the characters are definitely a lot, well, it's a lot more grounded in general. Aside from the McLovin part with the police, that whole arc, obviously that part's very goofy and comedic, but the main portion of the movie feels very grounded, just two high schoolers who are in over their heads trying to get to a party. While in Booksmart, it's definitely a lot less relatable in how some of the characters, like there's a very, I can't remember his name, but there's one of the boys is very rich, and at one point they go to his party on a boat, and there's all kinds of drugs and expensive gift bags, and that's just something that I can't see happening. Even though the characters live in LA and in Los Angeles, I don't think that typically happens in that area, so minus a few points for that. Uh, and then there's even scenes where like the characters in Booksmart imagine things, like the doll scene, which is definitely unfortunately a low part in the movie. It was a little bit uncanny valley and just kind of creepy. But there's a lot of scenes like that in Superbad too, like when Seth, played by Jonah Hill, is thinking about stealing liquor from the supermarket. Those can be fun, like little fantasy scenes can be fun, but I just think they work a lot better when they're more grounded, um, rather than some weird drug scene that doesn't even make sense. And as far as I'm concerned, doesn't actually follow how any drug really truly works. Like no hallucinogenic only lasts for about 30 minutes, maybe even less. But this isn't just to rag on Booksmart. It's a great movie. The actresses, they do a great job. I definitely, like I said, I laughed. It's worth checking out, but the whole time I had just had this feeling in the back of my head thinking like I would much rather watch Superbad, so that's what I did. I watched Superbad afterwards, and I don't know. I guess if they were marketing this movie as an advertisement for Superbad, then maybe it did its job. But as a standalone film, while it serves its purpose, it really left me wanting more. So go watch both. See you tomorrow.